Let's talk about it. Some of you don't even realize why you're so fiercely independent or slow to trust, or it feels just uncomfortable to ask for help. Maybe you always have to be the strong one, the helper, the fixer, the one who holds it all together, and you're wondering, why do I keep doing that? Listen, you're not too much. You're just carrying patterns that were born out of survival. Maybe you had parents that were dysfunctional. Maybe they had a physical or mental challenge and they just couldn't parent you well. Maybe they were missing. Maybe they were incarcerated. Maybe they were always arguing. There's so many reasons why some children feel neglected. And maybe your childhood just didn't leave enough room for softness and hugs and reassurance. Maybe you just had to grow up fast. I know I did. You were the one who figured things out on your own. You learned to stay quiet, to keep the peace. You showed up for everyone else before anyone ever showed up for you. That kind of childhood doesn't just disappear. It shapes how you love. It shapes how you trust. It even shapes how you rest and how you protect your heart. This message today is for the one who is still learning how to just slow down, learning how to open up your hands and receive and trust peace instead of chaos. Because we're talking about stolen childhoods, silent wounds, and the journey to reclaim the parts of you that had to go into hiding just to survive. And sometimes you think, oh, I'm healed. No, you're not healed. You've just been hiding. You've been wearing a mask because you're so locked into a pattern. And your childhood was stolen because of the responsibilities that you took on. You grew up too fast. Yeah, you became the emotional sponge. I know I did. You become the emotional thermostat. I know I did. The empath, the fixer. I know I did. The one who could feel the room shift before anyone even said a word. And as I am sharing this message, I'm holding back some tears because my self-awareness journey has been painful, but also very liberating. Because what some of us do is we learn to absorb the unspoken pain around us. We held emotions that were never ours to hold. I absorbed my mother's pain and depression. I absorbed my father's pain and depression. I absorbed the alcoholism from my second dad. I absorbed a lot of things that I just thought unconsciously were necessary. I thought I was supposed to sacrifice. I thought I was supposed to be silent and show up for others, even at my own expense. This is just my hindsight. I didn't know this at the moment, but the more I read and the more I study, the more I meditate, the more I tell the truth, even though it's painful, I became aware of that I took care of what others needed before I ever had time to become who I really wanted to be. I talk about this all the time with my two sisters. I said, you know what? I don't even feel like I was there. I feel like I was there to show up to deal with and adapt with what I thought was dysfunctional. I didn't feel like I belonged. I didn't get soothed, so I became a soother. That's what I do. I remember my grandmother who lived with us, my maternal grandmother. I used to think she was so mean. I realize now she was sad. She was wounded herself. And I would come to her, and there were no hugs. I came home one day after a fight, and a girl scratched my face terribly, and I was so hurt. And I just knew she was going to comfort me. And nope, there was no comfort. And I think unconsciously I made the decision never to ever ask anyone to comfort me. I will be the soother because I know what it feels like to be denied comfort. I know what it's like to feel like you haven't been seen. When you are still a child and you're trying to play the grown-up, while your soul is still whispering, what about me? What we learn to do is to armor up. Maybe you became like me, hyper independent, so that you could survive. Even in my marriage, I'm very independent. And I had to learn how to become interdependent in my marriage. Because people like me and you We become addicted to just doing because being still just felt unsafe. We thought if we asked, that was being selfish. We thought if we rested, we felt guilty. We thought it was something wrong with resting. I don't feel like that anymore. We felt that joy was just too vulnerable. We felt like peace was, that's a little suspicious. We're used to chaos, used to drama. And so you know how to function on empty. That's what we learned to do. I noticed even with my car, I used to have a habit of waiting until my car was almost empty before I would put gas in it. That was a red light signal to my personality, learning to function on empty. Children that had to grow up too fast learn how to wear a mask. They learn how to hold it all together with a shaky smile and tired strength. And betrayal and emotional abandonment. It teaches you that love hurts and survival is the only option. You and I were not meant to just survive. We were meant to rise. We were meant to heal. We're meant to have joy. We're meant to be able to rest. We're meant to be able to take off that superwoman cape and learn that it's okay to receive without having to earn it. Yeah. It's safe now to exhale. Won't you do that with me? It's safe to rest. It is safe for you to receive. And what I have been learning for the past few years is to trust the joy, to trust that I can laugh and be like a child. It's very difficult sometimes because I'm always living in my head, always thinking, always planning. So learning to trust peace, learning to say, it's quiet. I don't have to do anything. It's okay, Jewel. You don't have to do anything. That's been a process. And I extend my experience and my studies and even my transparency to hold your hand and to walk with you through the process of loving the child in you again and reassuring her that you're going to soothe her in a healthy way, that you are going to give yourself permission to rest. You're going to give yourself permission to say no when you need to say no, and you're going to give yourself permission to say yes when you want to say yes. I recently had to speak up to someone, and my God, I had mixed emotions. I was so proud of myself that I defended myself. I was so proud of myself for speaking up. And at the same time, my stomach was turning because I felt like it was wrong for me to speak up for me. I felt like it was wrong for me to speak up and defend, that I should just be still and be quiet. No, it's a process. And I learned that you can love people and still be disappointed by people. I learned that I could love myself and still be disappointed when I'm not doing my best. I hope this makes sense to you because I'm just ranting and sharing out loud my own personal growth, and it is exciting. It's scary. It's healing, it's liberating, it's joyful, it's painful. This self-awareness, man, it's not for punks. It's not for the weak at heart. So when you decide to take off the mask, when you decide to really tell the truth about what happened in your home, how you learn to adapt, how you learn to cope, how you learn to survive, and it's not like we are bad-mouthing our parents. They did the best that they could. It's probably just about breaking some generational patterns. And so I don't belittle, I don't demean, I don't put down my family. I'm very happy that I had what I had. I'm very happy that I was able to find the keys to open the door to self-love, self-awareness, to resiliency, to courage, to wisdom, and to rest, and to learn the power of no, and to learn the power of yes, and to learn the power of resiliency. And I invite you to join me in this courageous act of self-care and self-awareness. I'm Jewel Diamond Taylor. Thank you so much for listening and sharing my messages. Stay in the light.